All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Jets Flight Path. I am Paul, and today will be a solo show. Our good buddy Brian is finishing up his schoolwork. He's got a few finals that he's studying for, and the great part is, once he's done with these finals, he is done with school. So I wish him the best of luck on his finals, and hopefully he does well on them. So. Today, we're just going to cover the massive blockbuster deals that have occurred in the past 2 hours. Right now, it is 2:40 Eastern Standard Time on Friday, March 26th. 2021. When Brian gets back next week, we will do a comprehensive coverage on the Jets free agency signings thus far and what we can expect in the future uh, free agency signings. So, biggest news of the day so far, we have Zack Wilson's pro day, which I will cover in a little bit. But biggest news of the day involves the Miami Dolphins and their two trades involving San Francisco and the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll start off with the first trade. So the Miami Dolphins trade back with the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers get number 3, and in return, the Dolphins get the 12th overall pick this year. They got a 3rd overall pick, which was compensation for the Robert Saleh hire, involving the Jets picking him up, and they get 2 first rounders for 2022 and 2023. Massive deal, which essentially has the 49ers going ahead and selecting a quarterback at number 3, whether it be Zach Wilson, who I don't think will be there, but we will get to that in a little bit. Uh, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. Regardless, the 49ers move up to ensure that they get a quarterback in this draft, which all but ends Jimmy G's time in San Francisco. I can absolutely see him coming back to New England as a flyer deal. They might get a second rounder for him, third rounder for him, or the 49ers might just outright cut him. Depends on what the value is for him. But Miami gets a haul in this deal, and essentially what they did was they turned Larry Tunsil, their left tackle that they sent over to Houston, for four first. They turned him into 4 first-round picks and a third-round pick. And this obviously has an effect on the Jets' trade value for Darnold as well, because a lot of people thought that, hey, you know what, San Francisco might be a buyer on the Sam Darnold front. It might send him back home into a system where it's more of a pass and dink and dunk type system where he's just a game manager. However, that's not the case. Again, it pretty much all but confirms that the 49ers are indeed taking a quarterback at number 3, which begs the question, if the Dolphins got that much for the 3rd overall pick, it makes you really wonder what the Jets could get um, if they do decide, hey, Darnold's our guy. We like Wilson, but we think Darnold's a much better player. What could the Jets really get? And you look at a lot of quarterback strapped teams out there. Carolina could be a team that absolutely, you know, sends a Godfather offer. Denver could be another team where they've had question marks at quarterback since Peyton Manning retired, since he won that Super Bowl for them all those years back. So it really, really makes you wonder, depending on how Zach Wilson's pro day went, which watching some of it, he looked phenomenal. Really makes you wonder what the Jets can get for that 2nd overall pick. And another thing, it looks like Dolphins trading back to 12 all but confirmed that they were going to be sticking with Tua. So it was a massive, massive win for the Dolphins, where they got all this compensation, and it really puts the NFC West in a predicament now. You look at Seattle, you look at the 49ers, and you look at the Rams. None of those teams have a first round pick for the next year. Seattle, I believe, 2021 this draft, 2022 next draft, and then 2023 they will get their first rounder back. But really, the only team that has a first rounder this year and next year would be the Arizona Cardinals. So that division, it's really a win now division for all those three teams that don't have first round picks. But you look at the AFC East, and really all four teams have made moves to get better. So for the years of complacency and just outright mediocrity in the AFC East, you're starting to see a division that is going to be one of the better ones to come around in football for years to come. The Bills are already established with Josh Allen, and they keep adding pieces to make him better and better. Miami making moves that let them stock up on draft picks. This could potentially even land them Deshaun Watson. That's a whole another story, depending on how his sexual harassment allegation case go. I think he's at this point up to 25 now. Could it be? Could it be a sabotage? Highly unlikely. One, two, maybe three women, yes. But now you're looking at the 20s, and it would be if it were indeed a sabotage, would be an absolute death sentence to the Houston Texans as an organization as a whole. I don't know how they ever recover from that. Uh, Publicity wise, I don't understand how they would be able to sign future free agents, how they would be able to convince players to play for that team. The owners would be forced to sell. So I think the Dolphins are building for the future, but they have those chips in place that hey, if Deshaun Watson does somehow miraculously come out of these allegations, they can pull the trigger, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But for the right now, the Dolphins look like they're in control. The 49ers are mortgaging their future to ensure that they get their quarterback. Defensive wise, they still have a top five defense with Bosa and these guys coming back. So they're really going in for that quarterback. So Miami took a huge W there. Now, not 20 minutes later, the Dolphins, excuse me, had a deal in place with the Philadelphia Eagles that sees them moving back up to pick number 6, and getting 156 overall in exchange for the 12th overall pick, in exchange for the number 123 overall pick, and a 2022 first round pick. So the Dolphins are moving up to 6. I'm just reiterating to make it clear. Dolphins are moving up to number 6 and gaining pick 156. And the Eagles, in exchange, are getting number 12 overall, number 123 overall for this year, and a 2022 first rounder for the following year. That deal in itself was a head scratcher for the Eagles. More so because Philadelphia tried to initially get that uh, number 3 overall pick initially. However, they would have only done it if Zack Wilson was there at 3, which begs the question, was there a deal ever talked about between Philadelphia and New York that could have put Zack Wilson at or the Eagles at 2? Um, the Jets have been running a tight ship as far as media leaks are concerned, and especially through free agency, you see a lot of the beat writers, Connor Hughes, and a lot of quote unquote Jets beat writers, Twitter guys, and you could even throw ourselves in the mix where we're speculating, and we even said it on this program, like, oh, it's a sure thing Richard Sherman's coming over here. And I mean, he hasn't signed anywhere yet. He still could very well sign as a New York Jet. But there's one episode where we were talking about free agencies and running back, and how Tevin Coleman, we both agreed, Brian and myself said that, nah, he won't be here as a Jet. He's going to go elsewhere. And what happens? He signs a 1-year, $2 million deal. So this organization, or front office, has put a very, very tight lip, uh, I guess, what do you want to call it? Tight-lipped. I'm blanking on words here. I apologize for that. Tight-lipped order, to ensure that no secrets get out and whatnot. So yeah, so Philadelphia moves back, which all but basically indicates that they're going to be running through the season with Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco, which it's a very, very dicey move. Jalen Hurts got a few games last year to play to show what he's got. I think he's going to be a project, and Philadelphia does not have the pieces right now to help support that project. They bring in Joe Flacco. They trade away Carson Wentz, who largest cap hit in NFL history, which I believe is 32 million. So the Eagles are in no position to bring any free agents in. So what I guess their main plan is trade back. This is a down year for them anyway. Get Jalen Hurts' experience, learn from Joe Flacco, have him come off the bench. Draft a receiver at 12, or whoever they need at 12, a lineman, and then just continue garnering picks, which I guess is the way to go for Philadelphia. I really have no clue what they plan on doing. And for the Dolphins, they moved back up to 6. Yeah, they shed a 2022 first rounder, but I mean they still have a lot of ammunition left in the tank if they do decide to go after Watson. Um, what do I personally think they'll do at 6? If Sewell is still there, I can see them absolutely going for a left tackle. I think he will be there at 6 because you're going to see 1, 2, 3 make a rush at quarterback. Hell, even the Falcons at 4 might even go with a Trey Lance, to sit behind Matt Ryan for a year or two, and learn from him, kind of like how Pat Mahomes did behind Alex Smith in Kansas City. So it's really going to be interesting see draft time what happens, but we can all but confirm numbers 1, 2, and 3 are going to be quarterbacks. Now, where these guys end up on the draft board, it's hard to say, but 1, 2, and 3 will be quarterbacks. So, what does this mean for the Jets and Sam Darnold? It essentially knocks out San Francisco as a trade partner because they will be drafting a quarterback. It knocks out Philadelphia as a potential trade partner because they seem content on Joe Flacco and Jalen Hurts as their starters. Really, the only team I can see take a flyer, 2 teams that can take a flyer on Sam Darnold at this point would have to be Carolina, and that would be for number 8 overall. And the Jets will give up Sam Darnold, the 23rd overall pick, and maybe a 4th rounder. If the Jets want to move up that far, go get a corner, whatever. But with this move that San Francisco just did and what the Eagles just did, that's essentially pushing all quarterback talent down. And you might see some guys that fall, such as Horn or a receiver like Darius Tony fall. So the Jets are sitting pretty lofty at 23. The other team in this dark horse race might actually be Denver. Denver, again, as we talked about just prior, they have been hurting for a quarterback. They have not had a quarterback since Peyton Manning led them to the promised land all those years ago. And, they've had Drew Lock and Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler, and they just haven't been able to find the answer. So they might even just throw a second rounder, third rounder, just to take Darnold on a flyer. Um, which brings us into the Zach Wilson Pro Day. So BYU quarterback Zach Wilson had his Pro Day today, and based off of what has been going on Twitter, it seems all but certain that the Jets will take him at 2. Now, unless the Jaguars shock the world and go for Zach Wilson and leave Trevor Lawrence behind, Zach Wilson, in my humble opinion, will be the quarterback for the New York Jets next year. I've just seen some video that has made its way around on the internet, basically Twitter. There are a few throws that Wilson made, rolling out left, coming off his back foot, with the arm strength that he's able to launch a 50-yard pass downfield. Um, I just that alone just made my eyes light up. He's had other throws that he was making accurate. He's got great footwork. Essentially, what Darnold was supposed to be when Darnold was drafted. However, the front office is in place. I think the coaching staff is in place that can properly develop Zach Wilson. It's not a knock on Darnold. He was a raw talent coming out of college, and everybody knew that. But the upside is there. And unfortunately, throughout his young career, he was put through 1 year of Todd Bowles, who, as his rookie season, he made developments, and then he was given the worst possible hand, being put on a Adam Gase coached football team. No quarterback coach. They had Darryl Loggins as an offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, and he regressed mightily. He really had no offensive line for the first 2 years of his career. His running backs were shoddy. He really didn't have receivers. And I get it. It sounds like I'm making excuses for the kid. And I guess to an extent I am. But he really, really looked like he had regressed. And it's sad to say. I'm hoping that he can find a fresh start elsewhere. But I personally believe that Zach Wilson, after his pro day, will be the Jets quarterback. Now the Jets still have Ohio State's pro day to go see Justin Fields, but you had Robert Saleh, LaFleur, and Big Joe Douglas head out to that pro day. I'm sure again they will be out to Justin Fields, but from what we've seen with Zach Wilson, it's a pretty hard knock to not go up or to let him pass by at number 2. Um, it's going to be a fun month. We are again on May 26th, March 26th, 2021. We're currently 34 days away from the draft. And as we get closer and closer to the draft, we are going to hear a lot more speculation. We're going to see a lot more deals transpire. And I'm excited for it. I really am. And we'll see what happens. So I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about the news that transpired. And hopefully, next week, Brian's all good to go with his schoolwork. And that'll be it. So again, I'm Paul. For Brian, thank you for tuning into the Jets Flight Path. Again, follow us on Twitter at Jets Flight Path, where we give our opinions, post our videos, and that's really it. So we'll talk to you guys next week, and if anything else happens and pops off, we will be sure to cover it. All right, guys. Good talking to you.